Hey everyone. So I am back for our weekend forecast, and I just have to say right off the bat, the background music we have is a little baby crying. And so I am going to just say someone's inner child is crying out, possibly to hear this message, because this is definitely some deep messages that I've been sitting with for a several hours today, as well as yesterday when I pulled the Daily Divine Weekend Forecast on my YouTube. So if you want to check that out, you can. If you want to see the cards of its, live unfolding on my YouTube page, Princess Lee 888. Otherwise, the messages that I'm really getting through with this is this is Saturn and Neptune in Aries. Okay, this is a breakthrough of soul awakening. This is the expansion of our sovereign highest selves, and that means having to really be honest with ourselves, and it's humbling to talk to our crying inner child that we have been suppressing for so long, that's been trying to tell us what it is that is out of alignment with our soul core frequency of source of love. And also, forgive me, I really wanted these strawberries and I didn't feel like waiting to eat them first, so bon appetit. I'm just here. This is me I'm trying to allow myself to be authentic for you guys, as scary as it is. I'm actually reading Brene Brown's Braving the Wilderness right now, and I listened to her speech on it years ago about the power of vulnerability, and I feel like this is all correlating with this message right now of allowing yourself to break free of the fears of vulnerability, of letting yourself feel and be honest with what it is that your inner child is asking for, what your inner child is crying for, and what your soul is aligning to. So the theme of this weekend's forecast was take responsibility for your energy. And that is a message directly from Saturn and Aries, because we can't control what everyone else is doing. We can't control what comes in and out of our vortex. We can't control who comes in, who leaves. We can't control what they want, but what we can do is control our energy. And Saturn, the planet of responsibility, of karma, the father of the planets, is saying you only need to focus on your responsibility over you, of how you show up in this world, of how you give and receive. And if that is authentic, true, genuine, pure, then you will experience the sweetness of it, like these strawberries. But don't get me wrong, this is Saturn speaking, when I say that, that doesn't mean that you're not going to go through hardship. That doesn't mean that all of the things that you have to unlearn from conditioning from your childhood, from your societal conditioning, from whatever, the traumas, that doesn't mean that when you're breaking free from those chains, those cycles, those loops, those toxic, old, outdated versions of you, of those timelines, that it's not, that doesn't mean it's not going to be easy. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy. And that's why we have to stay grounded. We have the King of Crystals that came out. But this is why you have to stay grounded in your truth. Grounded and secure in yourself. And, you know, like I said, I've been sitting with this moon card coming out as well. Because this is about your intuition. This is about what you already know you hold, the truth within you. But it's about sitting with that knowledge and wisdom and believing and trusting that you know what you need and you know what you need to release and you know how you need to move forward. But we have to sometimes, again, give ourselves the grace and it is a humbling. I have been humbled over just the last handful of hours and weeks, months, years, in so many ways. Little consistent, constant expansions of me learning more about me and my truth and my authenticity and my alignment. What is in alignment with source, with divine, with love? And how have I been showing up? And so this weekend you might be asking yourself, and this may be something that you may need to ask yourself. We're being encouraged to ask ourselves, how can we be honest with our values? How can we be honest with our intentions? How can we be honest with ourselves when we do see that maybe there were some things about our old versions of ourselves that were not healthy, and taking responsibility for that, owning up to that, recognizing this is not who I want to be. This is not how I want to be in a relationship. This is not what I want for my relationships or for me or for my beloveds around me. Have I been showing up selfishly? Have I been showing up overly giving? Have I been showing up codependently? Have I been showing up with an intention that wasn't fully aligned with what I know is true for me, and why? And that can be even more, again, vulnerable and humbling, because a lot of times it can stem from pain bodies, from trauma, from our inner child, like that child crying at the beginning of this video, because it's like the wounds of our inner child, the wounding of our inner child is crying out, saying, I have been needing to protect myself from all of these things, which has caused me to live outside of myself. And I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do what I'm told to do if it's out of alignment with me. I don't want to be in this space energetically if it's out of alignment with me. I want to be with the people I love. I want to be in love because I am love. Our inner child is telling us we have always been love. We have just been conditioned out of love. I hope this is making sense. The 4 crystals and the Wheel of Fortune coming through as well. Being cautious, holding so tightly onto ideas and desires that we want, that we're not allowing the wheel of divine, the wheel of divine orchestration to move in its magical flow for our fortune, on behalf of our fortune, because of the fear that we'll be hurt, rejected. Because when we do let go, letting go and surrendering to our vulnerability, whether it's in sharing our deepest desires and love for someone, or whether it's being honest about something that we need to end, or something that is of conflict, right? Feeling grief and feeling love are both very vulnerable emotions. And I'm hearing Source reiterate, love is not an emotion. It is a frequency. It is who we are. It is our essence. But you have fear or you have love. And now that's funny that the air conditioning just turned on. So maybe Tony at the window. Excuse me. It's a little loud, so we're gonna close that. Maybe it's getting hot up in here. We gotta turn the AC on. No, anyway. Maybe this is, it's, again, we gotta allow. Sometimes we do need to just like circulate a little more, so that the air doesn't feel so stagnant. And that means being vulnerable. That means expressing our truth. That means showing our love and affection or our emotions, even if they're not pretty or comfortable. But trusting in the Wheel of Fortune, trusting that everything is moving in our divine orchestrated destiny of our highest and greatest good. Should we choose to move in that flow, should we allow for that flow to be received, to move in that flow? Lemuria is saying we are bridging realms so that we can reclaim our energy. And it goes back to the theme, taking responsibility of your energy is the same thing as taking responsibility of your actions, of your mistakes, of your money, of your life. And there's a glitch, right? Because that's the glitch in the matrix right there. Anyway, taking responsibility of your energy actually is the first step. That is the domino effect of the rest of responsibility over your finances, of your life, of your actions. It starts with your behavior it starts with your energy. Interesting, I said behavior, but your energy dictates your behavior. And so I won't get into it. I think I might do a separate video around just the things that I've learned even over the last couple weeks with this car accident that I was in. And I'm like, oh man, wanting to blame the negative, devil and all, those opposing forces, and it's like, not to say that that's not a spiritual warfare that we do have to be mindful of as we are shifting out of old toxic behavioral cycles, and that the ego does want to hold on to that because it's become habitual to be in fear, But I'm realizing that's where it goes back to the lack. That's where it goes back to taking responsibility of my energy. Obviously, it's not my fault that a driver hit me, but I've been really sitting with trying to hear what Abraham Hicks means when they say that your energy attracts, the law of attraction. Your energy attracts whatever vibrational match you are evoking or I don't want to say, yeah, that you are feeling, manifesting. Even if we're saying one thing, if our energy, if we're saying I am abundant, but my energy, the dominating energy is lack, or I'm unworthy, then I can only hold onto the space of abundance for so long because the dominating energy is still trying to pull me back down into the low frequencies of I am unworthy. And that's essentially the same thing as taking this is how taking responsibility of your energy. This is how you can still stay grounded, like the King of Crystals. How you can still stay grounded and unwavering, unmovable, regardless of the circumstances. Because now I'm not saying my worth and my value is measured by these material things, by this external counterpart, by these accolades. My worthiness does not have to be proven on these kind of scales. I am deserving of abundance and expansion because I exist. This is where we're shifting. This is what we're being invited to shift this week in the Strength card at the bottom of the deck. This is what we're being invited to shift into, that strength. The strength to hold our center regardless of who, what, where, when, why, how things are falling apart around us. Don't let it crumble our divinity within. Don't let it crumble our grounding with Source. That the abundance lies in Source. Love is my Source essence, core soul essence of Source. I hope that makes sense. So don't overdo. Do your best, but don't overdo it. You don't need to overcompensate. You don't need to overgive. You don't need to push yourself until you are falling and breaking and dying. You don't have to do that. Let yourself rest. Let yourself be. Let yourself feel. Let yourself be vulnerable so that you can experience the full vastness of life. If we want to feel the connection with ourselves, if we want to feel connection with others, if we want to feel love to its fullest, we have to allow ourselves to also be open enough to feel the depths of our sorrows and our griefs and our fears. But our fears are just false, right? False everything appearing real. False expectations, false ego, false evidence, false energy, false emotions appearing real. So the best thing you can do this weekend is express your love. Do your best, but don't overdo it. No more and no less. And express your love. Be impeccable with your word. These are from the 4 agreements. Transform your life by not taking anything personally. Your truth, your love That is you. That is the purest essence of you. Don't take it personally if someone else doesn't like it. Don't take it personally if someone smashes into your car. Don't take it personally if someone or something doesn't hire you, or, you know, doesn't want to be with you, or don't take it personally. Whatever it is, don't even take your past personally, because who you are today, that's who we are needing to see. Who you are today is who you are meant to be today. And you've come a long way. You've stepped through. You have stepped through the mucky waters. That's how the lotus flower grows, in mucky, murky waters. You've gone through the shit, and now you grow as a lotus flower, and you are coming into your highest, unlimited crown chakra, fullest self, which means you cannot be waved, you cannot be shaken, you cannot be moved by anyone or anything that is out of alignment with you. It's out of alignment with your highest self. You are a mirror and a reflection of everything that you see. And others are a mirror and a reflection. And so it's, again, humbling when I'm like, damn, how do I really need to look at myself? Where I have been out of alignment with myself? Where do I still need to love myself and my worthiness and my beauty and my strength? Where do I still need to trust unconditionally in divine love within myself, within source, within my beloveds, so that my external can be a full, authentic reflection of my internal? Okay? That's where we find freedom. So I was looking at this overflow card, water overflow. Let divine overflow. And then I'm going to wrap this up because this is getting long. But I hope you guys are still with me, whoever finds this in the future. Let divine flow into your cup so much that it overflows into other cups around you. You cannot pour from an empty cup. That's why we need to reclaim our energy. That's why we need to take responsibility of our energy. It's like the plant pot, and it rains, and then it rains so much that there's excess in the pot, so it drains from the bottom, and that drainage goes into the pot of the plant underneath, and so on and so forth. Let that overflow into others, but it has to come from source first, into you first, in order for you to have excess abundance for others. Otherwise, you are pouring from fumes, and that's not beneficial for anyone. That's where you'll find your alignment. This is the weekend where we continue to become more in alignment with our energetic light codes. Yeah, the weekend of radical expansion. The weekend of healing. Beautiful. The weekend of our journey to wholeness. Love every single part of you, beloved. Every single part. That's where we can take responsibility fully of our energy, when we don't judge our wholeness, our light and our dark, our shadows, our love, our, do you know what I'm saying? the duality. That's what this Gemini season is teaching us, is helping us move through, is embracing all of our duality, our feminine and our masculine, our yin and our yang. That's how we come into the union of our unlimited self. Okay? And everything else will reflect externally. I hope this makes sense. I've been, like I said, sitting with this for quite some time, and it's coming through, and I think I feel like I did a good job at being able to channel what that energy was coming through for this weekend forecast as we complete this month of May. Happy May 31st at the time of this recording, and moving into June tomorrow. So Pride Month and Juneteenth month and all the things of how we understand and are proud and hold space and recognize our wholeness of who we are. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, the amazing, and all of everything in between. So peace and love. Namaste. Bye.